Alright gamers, welcome to another episode of Aphelios Unranked to Master. This game we're going to be playing Aphelios Lux into Lucian Elise. And I'm going to be just testing a super early game focused Aphelios setup, which probably is almost certainly not going to be optimal, but you know, it's just something different to try out in case you fancy it. So we're going to be running, instead of the usual Absorb Life, we're going to be running Triumph instead. That's better for early fights, so you have more chances of surviving. That's not so strange though, that's actually something I would just do in engaged lanes in general. But also going to be running Alacrity instead of Bloodline, not going for the late game sustain, instead just going for the earlier spiking Alacrity, which takes less time to spike and also has much more early game impact, because it doesn't scale as hard with how many items you have. Lucian is level 1 right now, so I shouldn't really be letting him walk up like that. Took a third shot, but that's fine. We'll be sustaining it up with red anyway. Yeah, besides that, also choosing to run Inspiration secondary instead of Sorcery, so we give up on the scaling of Absorb Life and Gathering Storm. Ooh. This could be at least dead. Oh my god, that HP. Don't know why I'm even consuming my potion there. Got him. We got the early burst there with the Calirum auto attack reset. That was pretty clean. That was very satisfying to pull that off. Okay, there we go. Off to a fantastic start, but yeah, we're not going for the scaling of the Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus, as I said. Instead, we're going for Magical Footwear and Biscuit Delivery. Biscuit Delivery being the main thing that gives you a stronger early game. And just to fully commit to this early game playstyle, we're also going to rush Static Shiv, which is the strongest first item power spike you could actually go for. If you're confused as to why, basically, it gives really absurdly good stats for such a cheap item. It doesn't give crit, which is why it's generally not actually that good, because it's gonna scale like shit when it, you know, starts off great, but then your build really hurts for not having that crit item. We can definitely go for Rengar here. I got a cookie. Nice one. Oh, I think Skarner meant to capture him, but sure. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna be quite low in lane here. So we've gained 124 biscuit healing. Gotta assume most of that was during that second fight. That could have easily been a fight where I could have died if not for the fact that I had cookies and also Triumph. In fact, if I wasn't running both of those, like if I wasn't running either one, I absolutely wouldn't have been able to contribute as much there without dying or having to flash out. Already an example of how the setup, you know, maybe not optimal, undeniably better in the early game though. Yeah, Static Shiv. Ooh. Gonna be insanely cost efficient. But gonna skill like shit because it doesn't give crit, and as well the passive just gives you absolutely unmatched lane priority as well, which is also very good for the early game, but just tends to fall off later on when you're just suddenly not as dependent on Static Shift for wave clear anyway. This isn't exactly the sort of lane where I would recommend even doing a super early game focused build anyway, because against Lucian Elise it's such a strong early bot lane. I should be expected to lose anyway, regardless of my build, if they weren't just worse players than me. And playing with Lux also not really is what I would recommend it with. Like generally, yeah, she's sort of strong early game, but she doesn't really enable you at all in the early game, so I would recommend it with strong early picks who somewhat enable you, like playing with a Nautilus, a Pike especially, a Pantheon, just anything aggressive in the early game that is like setting stuff up for you. Lux is aggressive early, but more like setting up her own plays for herself, doing her own damage. So, not really the sort of support that I would even recommend running this build with, but, you know, whatever. I just wanted to try it. I'm not gonna wait for the perfect angle. Okay, I do believe we have enough AD at this point, so we can just start putting points into E. I can pretty much base for Static Shiv. So I think I'll just crash this in base. Oh. That's fine, like I just said, I want to base anyway. Oh. I slow trade on 2 Lucian there. Should I stay for this plating? Nah, Lux can take it. Fuck it. I'll just base. Just so long as the gold is going to someone, that's fine. Mainly I just, like, I wouldn't want to cancel my base here just to tax, like, 60 gold from this Lux. Like, sure, the gold is better on me, but again, like, Lux is gonna get it anyway. So for me, is it worth getting 60 gold? No. Especially not when somebody else is gonna get the full 120 anyway. So I'll just let her have it, so I can get my base off. And now we've spiked really hard. And of course, if you want to run like any sort of like any of these, I forgot about that. Any of these early game spiking factors by themselves independently and not just like running the full build, that's perfectly fine as well. If you decide, oh, I really like the whole having alacrity instead of bloodline, I like the early power it gives me. I wouldn't say that's optimal, but you know, that's fine. If you want to play for early game, it's going to be a slight handicap overall, I think, in your ability to climb, but maybe just fits your playstyle better or something. So you can do that. And if you just also prefer like the early power of boots, well, not boots, but running magical footwear over the late game scaling of absolute focus and gathering storm, again, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead. I don't think it's necessarily optimal, but it's going to be such a small handicap and might fit with your playstyle better. So you're either going to get better results with it or you're going to enjoy it more. Either way, that's perfectly fine. So you don't have to run the full setup every time. I'm just committing to this full early game setup, mainly just to try it out and see what happens when you combine all of these just full early game focused parts of your setup all at once, running them all at the same time. Okay, I'm shielded anyway, that's fine. I lost practically no HP there. Anyway, let's see if I can just force him to walk up and force a trade, because I'm so much stronger than Lucian right now. Obviously, Static Shiv is a little bit awkward for that. But you see, that's what I mean by Lux just setting up her own damage rather than for me. She just landed a double binding. What can I do about that? Absolutely nothing. Nautilus lands a cube. Usually I'm going to be able to follow that up. It's actually brutal how much of an item advantage I have over Lucian right now. Nope. Okay, not too bad. It wasn't amazing considering my item lead, but oh well. Okay, I'm trying to keep an eye on the map. I actually have no idea where Rengar is. I'm gonna hold on to red because if we do get ganked by Rengar, this is gonna be crucial towards surviving. There he is. Gonna consume my cookie. Should I try and fight the Rengar there? Probably not. Gotta be a little bit careful there, because if Rengar had vision in that brush, he could leap onto the ward, then leap from the ward onto myself. Now, unless he has red trinket or something, he can't do that. There's still a chance Rengar's around. At this point, I'll probably just kill him if he is actually alone, though. Don't want to stay for that plating. Probably not. It's just too perfect a base timing, I think. Suppose I can do double dagger. You could probably do Swifties with the setup, though. You don't really need all that much attack speed. Like, I'm definitely probably not gonna max W second as usual with this build. Once I finish maxing lethality, I'll go back to maxing Q. Because not only have I delayed my scaling with attack speed by not maximizing my early crit, but I've also gone for an item that already gives a lot of attack speed, so my need for attack speed is just very low right now. There's some sort of fight going on over there. I think I'm going to be so late at this point I may as well just shove the wave and then see my options rather than immediately rotate and potentially realize it's too late to do anything and then I've just not denied any CS. Looks like the fight is already over, so I'm going to ping my team back. That's the right ping. That ping them back. There we go. Negative plating. Rengar might come for me, so I'm gonna back off. Who is this? Is that Rengar? Yes, it is. Lucky Zed. Maybe me and Lux can collapse, but probably is just gonna escape. I can check the Gromp though. We're not gonna let him just soak up a bunch of free shit over here. Oh man. Oh, close, man. Oh well. That was satisfying though. They clumped up really hard there while I had blue ult. Oh, she ended up dying. Perfect. And yeah, we're just going for the Collector second, not going for like Infinity Edge, which would be the, like, access the best scaling by going Infinity Edge into Lord Dominic's. But again, early game focus build, we're trying to snowball, end the game early. Because the static, we're trying to, like, win this game before the static Shiv starts to show its downsides, right? Actually, I can stay. Lucian has no mana. I've got red buff to heal up. I could do with Lux staying though, but yeah, I want to like abuse the solution. The fact that he's got no mana, he needs to base more than I do, even though I was lower HP, because you know, by himself he just can't abuse the fact that I'm low HP if he has no mana. Okay, we see shit happening over there. Gonna try and pressure the Lucian. Okay, I need to wait for the red buff to run out. Not gonna hit the turret a couple times. Gonna back off now. We see Rengar on the Drake. So far, first impressions on this build, it feels very nice. Doesn't necessarily feel optimal, but it feels very nice, which is exactly what I was hoping for, you know? You don't have to, not everything you have to do has to be optimal always, just sometimes it can be a nice change of pace to just play your favorite champion in a different way, without it being troll. It's not troll, that's good enough for me. Okay, I don't know about fighting here though, I'm actually very close to Collector as well, right? So if I just shove a wave here... and go for this plating. Is Elise getting the help of Rengar? No, she's not. Okay, I might want to stick around for another wave, but we'll see, because I can already just base if I want to. Thing is, purely because of the Elo, I actually am going to stay, because I know that if I don't stay, Lux will wipe out this wave, or at least there's a good chance of it. So just to make sure that can't happen, I stick around for one more wave. Okay, my Zed just solo Drake, awesome. Just using a random purple key on the minion because I don't want to be stuck on purple-red for too long. Now I'm actually going to base, and... huh, maybe I could have taken that turret, but... should I go for it? I feel like I just cancelled my base way too many times, but platings are down, so we definitely get this. And it feels a bit indecisive to cancel my base this many times, but I think every time it has been worth. And of course, like... you could say, oh, you should have decided sooner that you should stay. Like, there's no downside in me just starting a base and then deciding whether I actually want to go through with it or not. And like, in fact, it's better that I start my base before I've decided to start basing, so that when I do decide, yeah, you know what, I will base here, I'm already halfway through the base, right? That's something Halo players will do a lot, is just start basing, then cancel it. Then and later they'll stop basing, then cancel it, then later they'll stop basing, then cancel it. Like, if you don't know if you're going to base yet or not, start basing. You can always change your mind. Anyway, I'm just gonna walk mid here because I could see that it was undefended temporarily. Wait, we have a Skarner mid? What the hell? Weird. I just realized I have over 10 CS per minute at 15 minutes. That's actually a crazy early time in the game to be accessing 10 CS per minute, but it's both related to the fact that I'm running a full early game setup. So like I have more access to farm, I can't be bullied off the farm as easily. And also just the fact that part of my early game setup is a wave clear item. If I have better wave clear, I'm naturally gonna just get more farm. Okay, and we just put points at the Q. Instead of my usual points at the W at this stage. I'll just ignore the turret damage and just finish it off. Perfect. Successful rotation so far. Maybe soon we'll want to rotate top, but if I do it now, it's going to give Lucian an angle just to push mid. So we're going to shove mid first. And now we can instantly rotate top. We absolutely wiped that wave incredibly hard, so we have a long window to roam now. And awkwardly though, there is a ward there. Also, Lux, is she even rotating with me? Maybe I won't bother with it, I'm just gonna go for the Raptor camp then. I've got a lot of DPS, so even though I don't have wave clear, we just wipe out each monster individually so fast it may as well be wave clear. Okay, a bit awkward for Zed. And now we're gonna go for Lord Dominic's, because at this point in the game, armor values are very high, so... You know, third item stage is when armor values start to get high enough that you might want to strongly consider Lord Dominic's over Infinity Edge. And especially because even though I'm at the third point, I will only have 2 items worth of crit by the time I could finish Infinity Edge. Whoops, have it. We're instead gonna go for... I guess, Noonquiver. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what is better here as a component, Lost Whisper or Noonquiver. We'll go Noonquiver. I know crit is good on Aphelios. I like crit. Feels nice. Plus it'll actually increase my damage onto minions and camps as well. The armor pen from Lost Whisper does very little against them. Yeah, this is actually insanely... How do I have 11 CS per minute at 17 minutes? That's actually crazy. God, I would not have expected it to have that much of an impact. Murphing or not, I never have this high CS this early. Not on Aphelios, at least. Just in case she's gonna choose to flash. Wow, she actually killed him. Oh, well now this flank is useless, unless... Oh. Sadly, there's just nothing really to do about Rengar there. If I start to burst him down, he can always just walk away into the brush and retreat, and then the Anivia finishes me off. Best I can really do, unfortunately, is just kill Anivia and accept the Rengar killing me. Which is very unfortunate, because he's already the most fed member of their team, and also just, like, stylistically the most annoying champ for me to face. As an assassin. And I just gave him a huge shutdown. So now he's going to be even more of a problem. So I'm actually thinking, what if I just adapt this Noonquiver into a shield bow? Because that'll help tremendously against the Rengar. So I think that's going to be smart. Yeah, even like right now, the lack of scaling on my static shiv is starting to rear its ugly head, because I would have had much more confidence that I could just burst down the Rengar before he could kill me there if I was running a full crit build. Like even now, when we're still not even 20 minutes into the game, like the lack of scaling is showing itself. There are still going to be scenarios where the static shiv shines. It's going to do a lot of AoE damage in team fights. It still gives me extra wave clear, but when I'm straight up trying to burst somebody down like that, it is starting to really handicap me. Okay, I wonder for this comp I just want to switch to the other rotation already. Certainly for dealing with Rengar it's going to be better. Oh. I think I will do that. Just because both blue and green are really useless at dealing with Rengar, and so ideally I don't want to have... or rather, like I should say, like when you have blue-green, because both blue and the green will give you a caliber mark, it's kind of... and caliber marks are useless from melee range. It is just nice to have, not have a weapon combination where both of my abilities are going to give me useless caliber marks. Okay, I'm going to show this wave and rotate up. Gonna do it while expending purple though, because I want to get rid of that. This fight is actually already going to be over. Maybe I can start basing, but we'll see. I mean, Elise might just run into me here. She's gonna path smartly. Okay, it doesn't matter. My team isn't running into her. I do want to base soon. I've already got shield bows, but I think I'll just shove in the wave first. Because otherwise, again, it just gives Lucian a window to free farm that wave and shove it in and potentially push that turret. Unless my support defends it. Oh, that's a not a very smart ult. Well, that's just not smart at all. Wasn't a shutdown, sadly, but will... Like, obviously I skill better than Rengar, so you shouldn't be going for those one-for-one trades. Alright, by this point, definitely armor is getting too high to the point where even though I would have a 75% crit Infinity Edge, it is just going to be so much more efficient to go for Lord Dominic's instead. And then later on I can sell my Static Shield for Bloodthirster. And from here I want to minimize my ability usage, because any weapon combination involving red gives me the best possible chances against Rengar. So I don't want to spam my blue Q on the wave, because that's going to lead to me getting red-white sooner, and the sooner I have red-white, the sooner I have to start using up red or white, both of which bring me away from red-white, which is the best combination to have against Rengar. Okay. Didn't expect to get into a fight with Rengar so early, but... Oh, we're not even. I probably shouldn't have split off from Lux like that, by the way. Yeah, this is useless. Or actually, no, they're gonna be on this shit. How bad. Okay, well, now it's definitely useless to be here. The one argument for getting rid of blue is that it is definitely a lot better to have red-white over red-blue for Rengar. Whoa. But personally, I'd rather just extend the duration of any weapon combination in general that keeps me holding on to red. Can go for the Raptors here. I know it's sad for Zed, but I just scale so much better than him, it's unbelievable. Even though I get less gold from the camps than he does, I think it just makes much more sense on myself. And you can see by the time I got rid of red-blue, which I've been holding on to for ages, I still had 45 red ammo. I'm maximizing the duration of this as much as I can. And so also, just to extend the duration as well, instead of like getting rid of all my red, then having like max white ammo, let's rotate to this fight. What I can and should do is try and use them up a bit more evenly, so I keep hold of this weapon combination a little bit longer. So like when I'm farming this next wave, for example, I use white. Even if I didn't have chakrams, even if it wasn't going to be so much more efficient to farm it this way, I still use white anyway. Because I don't want to get rid of all my red, then have all of my white left. Because, yeah, white by itself, still very good against Rengar, but it's not the best against Rengar. Alright, are you going to back me up while I shove another wave? Probably not. I think I can do it though, especially... Should I rotate to this? No, it looks like they're fine. So I think I'm probably going to be alone if I farm here. Like, it's not like the entire enemy team is coming for me. So even if Rengar shows up here, that's fine. So again, I use white for shoving this wave. Just keeping white and red pretty even in their ammo. Still at around 11 CS per minute. Kind of nuts. Nice. I was gonna say there's a decent chance that if I cancel my base and just fight him, I might win. I would have to go for a red ult though, because clearly I took a lot of damage from just that one hit. But if I red ult, then and also barrier for that shielding, and also have shield bow. Like, so long as I can survive Rengar's initial burst, at that point it turns into, can my superior DPS from having white, even without chakrams, or maybe if I want to set up some chakrams with red Q, maybe that could also work. Can my DPS outperform the fact that Rengar has already put me quite low? This should be quite good. Let's focus Rengar. Oh my god. Ah, that sucks. I almost had him, bro. Still, that was a pretty good fight. Like, I basically did as much damage to him as he did to me. On top of the fact that I already done a lot of damage to his teammates prior, so it's still a pretty good fight. Awesome. Alright, then now obviously, final item is going to be Infinity Edge. Unfortunately, I can't afford any components right now. Any component is fine, I don't care whether it's Crit Cloak or Pickaxe or a BF Sword. Obviously, BF Sword would be ideal, but anything will be fine. When I can finally afford something. Now, obviously, if you look at the amount of damage I've done from Static Shiv, this is not even, like, that crazy. I've done about this. Well, okay, I would have expected this to do more. What about the other items I can compare it to? That item shit. Is there anything? Oh, like, oh, this has blocked a lot of damage. Weird that it doesn't tell you how much damage it's done, though. Well, like, for example, I mean, Bork or Kraken Slayer would have probably done similar, if not more damage by now. Oop. I should be fine, right? Oh my god. Oh, Jesus, not fine at all. Fuck, if I had Shield Bow, I could have just outplayed him. At least he dies. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, kind of annoying. So yeah, I'm very dependent on having Shield Bow up. There's a ward in there. Ooh, almost got them both. Did get them both with the ult. Okay, nice. Not too bad. I guess I can wait for the pickaxe. There we go. Yeah, so obviously, yeah, I'm not actually doing that much damage with the Static Shiv, but obviously a lot of the power does come from the fact that I've just had such great wave clear, and I have such good farm. And the farm itself is what has made me stronger throughout the early to mid game. More so than the Static Shiv's damage itself, right? Well, at least when directly comparing it to the passive. The AD and attack speed is obviously a little bit harder to quantify. Whoop. Doesn't matter that it didn't hit Rengar. Oh, crap. Oh my god, I shredded her. What the hell? Okay, Lucian and Elise are around. I think I can probably lifesteal off this wave though, right? Before somebody reaches me. Not that I have too much lifesteal, but I do have the red Q, which is something. Lot of damage there. Does she have another one? Yeah, she does. Holy crap. I didn't think she would possibly die there. I didn't expect the 2 marks. I think she must have also gotten chunked out by Lux as well. Yeah, damn. That was really nice. Do you want to stick around for another wave? I think I do. I mean, Lucian is the only person alive. Don't really have to be afraid here. Any farm that I can pick up towards Infinity Edge here is going to be incredibly valuable. What I can't do is farm another mid wave, because I will die to Rengar ult at that point. She still had that recall from the Herald, or what? Yeah, it must have been from the Herald. What? What else would have given her an empowered recall? How long ago did Herald die, bro? How long has she not recalled for? She's not recalled for 10 minutes? That can't be right. But I suppose it's possible that every single one of her bases was just dying. I think I've probably had games like that, to be fair. Now I think about it, I guess dying on every recall does just make sense sometimes. Especially against the Rengar. So having white with this little ammo is obviously not ideal if I want to try and deal with the Rengar. But just having white at all is a lot better than not having white, so I'm trying to hold on to this lost 3 ammo of mine for my dear life. Oh, they're actually starting this. They're also TPing. Whoa! Good cheese. Unfortunately, that's just gone though. Oh, we had 2 people dead as well. Okay, my bad. We shouldn't have even been contesting that. I don't know how I didn't notice my 2 teammates died. One died there. Where did the other die? I have no idea. But okay, obviously we didn't even have a jungler. We clearly couldn't contest that. Actually, I do want to get rid of green. Like I said, Caliber Marks useless from melee range is the worst weapon for dealing with Rengar. Would be nice against the Lucian and especially against the Anivia. But the biggest priority is just get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. It's so useless against the most fed person of their team. Like, my ability to win or lose this game is going to be determined by my ability to deal or not deal with the Rengar. So I especially want to get rid of, now of purple as well. So just so I can get red. It's not like purple is horrible against Rengar, but it's not nearly as good as red. Did I say red from the start? I mean, like, purple is not useless against Rengar, but it's not nearly as good as red. That's what I meant to say, in case I didn't say that already. So we're trying to get rid of purple. I just need one purple Q against these casters, for example, and then that's done. Kinda scared about Rengar. Hopefully they don't have vision here. A little Lux near me, at least. Did I just see him bot? Don't know if I just hallucinated. No, he definitely appeared bot. Okay, he's also ulting. Now the question is, do I get rid of blue as fast as I can to access red-white sooner? Or do I hold on to blue as long as I can so I have access to red for longer in the long run? Obviously, you gotta try and use a little bit of critical thinking here and think, how likely is it that we're gonna fight soon? Because if we're not gonna fight soon, I do want to hold on to red-white for as long as possible. If we're actually gonna fight, if I can tell like we're gonna be fighting over Baron or Elder, or wow, apparently Drakesol very soon, then I do want to have access to red-white ASAP, because that is gonna be the best combination to fight Rengar with. So now that I see actually that it's spawning soon, they want to contest that. It's not guaranteed we're gonna fight. This could easily backfire, but I'm probably just gonna get rid of blue. I'm not going to get rid of it super fast because I don't need it gone yet. And it's also very easy to get rid of if I need to. Just spamming it on the air. But now I know, yeah, let's get rid of this. Is ganking Natrox here the possibility? Probably not. We want to shove one more wave. And then go for the Drake. Our jungler is currently dead as well, though. I have time probably to shove in one wave before Rengar appears. I'm going to use Blue Key to make it happen fast, though. There we go. And now we should just rush to this Drake. Rengar's clearly going to be around in time to contest it, but what I want to try and accomplish is try and get this done before the whole team is grouped and ready to contest. Get rid of blue, there we go, because we prefer red-white. Okay, he killed Vlad, so this Drake is ours. Okay, now the question is, what am I going to do here? Oh, well, that sucks. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay. Oh. Ah, damn it. I wish she actually kept on chasing me. I would have destroyed her. Okay, well, we at least secured the Drake, so I'll probably played that really bad. If I reviewed that, I could probably point out stuff I could have done a lot better, but... need to focus on the rest of the game for now. When can I sell this? Whoa! I should be fine. I've got... no, I don't have shield, though. I've got barrier, though. It doesn't matter. I've got one shot. Fuck's sake. Well, that's random. My bad. Commentary definitely got in the way there. I very nearly got Bloodthirster, though. Just need a couple hundred more gold. If I was really desperate, by the way, if I knew, like, oh crap, the game is gonna end very soon, I think I might just sell shield bow for Bloodthirster. If I knew the next teamfight is going to decide the game, and there is going to be a fight before I have a chance to farm up my Bloodthirster. But I think I should have time to farm it up. Although, we'll see. I mean, 2 people just died for no reason. Like, this inhib is something we should have given up. There was no reason to die there. But... okay, looks like they're not going to push to the end, so yeah, I should still have time to farm up Bloodthirster. Just need 100 gold, pretty much. Your turret has been destroyed. Probably would have been faster to walk, but fuck it, I've already started the recall. Okay, and just having this extra layer of protection against the Rengar is going to help a lot. I think all in all, I did pick an awkward game to, you know, purely in hindsight, to try this build on, because of the fact that this is a 6-item game, and the 6th item that I was passing up on for so long was an item that would have given me a shield, that would have helped a lot against Rengar. The fact that I picked this game of all games to delay that Bloodthirster was really awkward for me. But, you know, again, just purely hindsight. I wouldn't say this build is unviable just purely because, oh, but what if you need the late game Bloodthirster shield against the Rengar who happens to get very fed? Well, first off, they need a Rengar. Second off, he needs to get very fed. Just a little bit unlucky, all those factors lined up this game. Not only does he need to be really fed, he also needs to be their win condition as well. Which are not always the same thing, but obviously the fact that I have a Lux... That's a little bit risky, but the fact that I have a Lux instead of like a Lulu, for example, or a Nautilus... doesn't help. Means that Rengar is very effective, not just against myself, but also against my support.
Enemy double kill.
Dead. God, she did so much damage. Okay, I want to hold on to the rest of my white. Because purely if I can put down Sentry, I'm going to be so much more effective against Rengar than if I don't have access to Sentry. Maybe I'll just shove this in base. Get away from those brushes, please. I don't want to fight Rengar near brushes. Oh my god, my barrier and shield bow just barely pulled off there, as well as my Bloodthirster overshield. Fucking hell. That is crazy. And yeah, now I'm just lifestealing so much less, by the way, because I went Alacrity instead of Bloodline. That is an example of how the Bloodline is just so good late game and Alacrity is not, but regardless, give me enough time and I will lifesteal back to full HP, so... God, yeah, I think that burst that I had from the white, just the last sentry that I placed. Like, if I didn't have that burst, Rengar would have killed me. And I would not have killed him back, I don't think. Okay, that's good. Baron is up. Also got no more use for gold anymore. So I'm not even gonna bother going for these golems. It would be nice to deny it from them, but I just want to base and get my stuff ASAP. We're not gonna be able to do Baron during Rengar's death timer, but we should be ready to do it at a moment's notice. Because the enemies need to defend bot now. Okay, and again, my biggest priority here is getting rid of purple, because if I have red, that makes me so much useful against Rengar. But you notice how both red and white are both individually just the best weapons against Rengar. Whether it's just being able to white ult so I can melee range Rengar with Trackums to burst him just as much as he bursts me. Or whether it's just placing sentry so that I have that little... So I have him diving at the sentry. Oh. Wanted that to be AoE, but whatever. Is the Rengar dead? No, I don't know where Rengar is, but he's not dead. We probably should be doing Baron, I'm not gonna lie. We don't even have a wave. I'm just gonna force this. Like, we've got the wave over here, man. It's not gonna work. We're gonna let Rengar take an inhib, I suppose. It's not the end of the world. It's not like he can end the game with no minions. Nice. Oh yeah, let's go for that. I think Lucian definitely should have gone for this, by the way. Trading an inhib for the Baron obviously wouldn't have been, like, a good trade. We would still come out ahead on that. Wow, she's a very strong support, by the way. But it would have been a lot better than nothing. We gotta make sure Rengar isn't cheesing this, by the way. I also need to not pop through any brushes. Okay, he's not in that brush at least. Can't be sure that he's not in any of these others. Okay. Seems fine, though. I don't have red ult. Or barrier. I want to have Shackums in case he jumps on me. And I also want to melt this. Okay, he dies. The fact that I had Shackums there probably is the only reason why he died solely to my damage. I don't think anybody else really hit him there. Just a good thing that I set them up on Drake in advance. I don't suppose I had, like, barrier up by then, did I? No, didn't have red ult, didn't have barrier. It just is what it is. That guy's a bursty dude. That dude is a bursty dude. Alright, and that's gonna be GG. Mostly came down to my ability to survive the Rengar long enough to not be useless. I wasn't as useful as I could be. I should have been, you know, pentakilling their whole team, not just trading 1-for-1 with Rengar every time. But yeah, just weapon management to make sure I always had red-white, or at least red, or at least white. Was basically the reason why every single time Rengar went on me, I could at least, like, match his kill, or get him low enough that my team could finish him off. So yeah, very useful weapon management there. I also think the build actually went a long way towards making me strong enough to actually deal with the Vanguard potentially as well. So yeah, actually, I think that was a pretty good test. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. You know, more educational Aphelios content and more potentially experimental builds. And I'll see you guys in the next video.